Your vacation to Mexico accidentally turns into a Bachelor in Paradise scouting mission? Here's Jesse Palmer. He was lost because it's his first season. I had to give him directions. This is Lace Morris. This was me actually outside of our residence, and she just kind of pulled up and off we went. So there's a throwback for you. 99% sure that's Rick. He's being escorted by the producer. They were all escorted by producers because they don't have keys to get in their room.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. We are really in for a treat today because I am joined by the one and only Rachel Doerrie. Now, Rachel just got back from a trip in Mexico where she was staying at the same resort as Jesse Palmer and Wells Adams. And you guys may have seen her tweets on Bachelor in Paradise. She got some tea for us, and we're kind of going to discuss about her trip, how things went, and maybe confirm some names who were on the beach. So Rachel, welcome to my channel. Why don't you tell everybody like who you are, what you do, and like how much do you love The Bachelor?
Yeah, so thanks for having me. I was kind of wild. I don't really like tweet anymore because I actually work in professional hockey. I work at the NHL level, and that's like straight up in my bio. And so I really am not allowed to say anything other than that. And so I'm only allowed to tweet about things like The Bachelor. And honestly, I love The Bachelor. I get together with my friends to watch it. And so for me, it's like this huge thing. And I actually knew Brendan from the previous season when he went on the show. And so it's kind of come full circle. But for me, like I've watched it since I think Jake Pavelka's season. And I was literally a child when that was occurring. So I don't know who allowed me to watch that, but it's continued, and I absolutely love the show, like the whole franchise. I mean, it's wild in general, but I'm so here for it.
I actually started at Jake Pavelka's season as well. I was like 12. We're the same age. We talked about it. We're like, you're a year older. So like, I don't even know how I started watching either, but I've been hooked for a while. And just letting everyone know, you were based in Toronto, but you have a condo in Mexico. Like, how often are you going to this resort?
Yeah, so like it's not necessarily mine. My parents bought it. And essentially the way it works at this particular resort is you buy the right to the condo. So you're allowed to use it whenever you want. And then when you're not there, like other people are allowed to use it. So it's essentially on a resort and you just have the right to be there. And so my family goes at minimum twice a year, like
And
at the bare minimum.
and did you know that like this was the resort they filmed Paradise at, or that like some of the people stay at, or did you just find out when you got there?
Okay, so a couple of years ago, like it was the year pre-COVID. We were in Sayulita on a day trip when we were staying at my condo, and there was like about 10 of us. And I saw people from The Bachelor, and I was kind of like, wait a minute, what is going on? And then we were kind of kibitzing in the town of Sayulita instead of the beach, and they were filming a date. And I was like, hold on, they're filming Paradise here. And so then I kind of did some digging, I did some looking into it, and I figured out that they film in Sayulita, but they bring them from a separate resort. Okay, what's the other high end resort that everyone's allowed to stay at long term? And it turns out that where my condo is the only resort in the area where you can actually have long term stays that's like above a 5-star thing. And so I'm like, okay, well, they have to be staying there. So then I didn't really know when they filmed it. I knew it was in June sometime. And usually my family goes either end of June or end of August. So we kind of we miss it. But this was the first time where I was there pre-filming, and I found out that they do all of the like they hold them there and they film all the pre-stuff on the beach there. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna see everyone.
So you just were going to Mexico regardless. Like you didn't even think that they were going to be filming. Cause now are you going to be planning your trip next year to go around the same time?
Oh my God. Yeah. So I had no idea. And now my sister's a little bit younger than me. She's a massive Bachelor fan. She literally was like, you're actually going to be staying an extra week because I need the tea and you'll be going to Sayulita every day. And I said, I'm like, who's paying for this? Because that's not cheap. And so we've actually decided, and it coincides well with my work schedule because this is kind of like a downtime, whereas like beginning of July gets really busy. So I think next year, my sister, myself, and probably like a few others in my family are going to go for 2 weeks, and we will be taking multiple trips to Sayulita to see if we can get the tea. But I also heard they literally close off a part of the beach there because they have to cordon it off from all the shenanigans and drunken nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy that you were there getting such exclusive, valuable tea. I mean, I'm assuming there was a decent amount of people at the resort. There was the workers at the resort, but like you were the one person that was like tweeting. I did have another girl DM me saying that she saw Shanae, she saw Rodney, she sent me a picture of Rodney, but you were like the main source on Twitter. So why did you decide to kind of tweet all of the tea? Like, are you just like doing it for the Bachelor fans? Were you worried about like causing a ruckus? Like, what was the motivation?
Honestly, so I didn't clue in originally, but I actually saw Shanae at the airport. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. And the only reason I recognized her right away is because she was someone who like drove me crazy on that season. So I was like, I cannot, like, I don't even want to go up there and meet you because like it just boils me, right? So I'm like, oh, that's super interesting. And then I was like, I wonder if they're filming Paradise. Then the next day I saw Jesse Palmer and Wells, and I was like, ooh, yeah, they're filming. And Jesse Palmer was lost as heck. So I actually had to like be like, you need to go over here. And he was like kind of like walking. But yeah, honestly, I don't even know why I tweeted it. I thought the Jesse Palmer and Wells thing was funny. And then because I don't really tweet because of work anymore, I was like, am I gonna get in trouble? But then everyone at the office saw me, so I was like, I'm gonna keep doing this because this is so funny. And it's like I have a decent amount of followers, so it's not like somebody with 200 followers, like an anonymous account, just tweeting stuff. So I was like, you know what? Why not? Like I know I tweet about The Bachelor during the season, so I'm like, why not? I'm here. Let's just tweet about it.
Yeah, I mean, and we were all living for it because we are dying to find out like who's in Paradise, what's going on. Now, you actually did spot a decent amount of people. So why don't you just tell everybody, because they're waiting for this, like who did you exactly see?
So I saw, like I said, I saw Shanae at the airport, and then I saw Jesse Palmer, who had no idea where he was going, poor man. And then I saw Wells, and I wanted to get a picture of Wells, but I was on the transportation tram because they drive you everywhere. If you kind of like own a condo, like they'll take you around the resort wherever you want to go. And I did not expect him to be so tall. So it kind of like threw me off a little bit. I had to do a double take to make sure it was him. So I couldn't get my phone out in time to get a picture. And then I was walking into the hotel, and here's the thing I noticed. So if you're an owner and you're staying at this particular building, you have a black bracelet. This is black. But everyone who was on the Bachelor production team had a royal blue bracelet. Dead giveaway. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to start to look for those people. Then I started realizing, hang on, there are people without bracelets walking with people with bracelets. And my first clue was Lace. So Lace got off the tram escorted by somebody with a wristband, but she didn't have one. So it's kind of like, ooh, she looks familiar. Let me just like scooch over here so the producers don't see me taking a photo, and snap. And so that photo of her like in kind of like a white tank top, I actually took that.
And then did you post it on Twitter?
I posted on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I didn't actually post any photos to Twitter. I was just kind of like
doing the tweets.
Yeah, because I think at some points it can get creepy, and I didn't want people to think that. So I was like, you know what, this is who I saw, like whatever.
And you said you saw Haley from Clayton's season. You got Victoria F, Justin, Brandon. Who else are we missing? Jamie from Michelle's season. You tweeted the other day, which was a shock.
Yeah. Yeah. Haley was actually staying in the condo next to me, so I could have just straight up knocked on her door if I wanted to. But I got in the elevator with her, and I was like, oh, like your shoe's untied, and it was like in the elevator shaft, so it would have gotten caught. And she just kind of looked at me. She's like, and I was like, okay. Like,
oh no, she's a little
you're
ditzy.
welcome.
Love her, bless her heart, but I'm worried she's gonna get that edit on the show. And Jesse Palmer also posted that like the first rose ceremony is happening tonight. So it's like, if only you could have stayed the whole time and gave us the tea. I have a feeling that now that you kind of tweeted a bunch of stuff, they might be a little bit more strict. Plus now everyone's on the beach. Like you were there the perfect time where people were just getting in, right. The late arrivals. Like now it might be harder to get certain spoilers of like who's there, but I'm sure more people will get spotted in the airport throughout the season.
Jared and Ashley were there as well, but obviously they're not on the show. So I'm wondering if they're doing like that kid thing where it's like, the babysitter's date. I wonder if they're doing something like that. But let me tell you, I was looking for Brandon because I freaking love Brandon. And when I saw him, we were kind of going this way on the tram. I almost jumped off a moving vehicle. Like I yelled, I was like, Brandon.
Wait, so
and
you
I
said
saw
hi.
him go like this.
So you said hi to Brandon.
Yep, I saw Brandon.
So you said hi to, did you say hi to all the people you met, or were you just kind of like seeing them from afar?
I was close enough, but I can empathize because even when I was down there, like I had somebody, like a hockey fan, come up to me and was like, I know who you are. Here are all of my thoughts. And I was kind of like, I'm on vacation. I don't want this. And so I didn't want to be that person. And so I never kind of went up and was like, hey, like Jesse Palmer asked me for directions. I could have easily asked for a photo, but I can empathize. And so I didn't. But I know other people, people were asking for photos and whatnot with Wells. And I saw Wells did take a few photos, but Wells and Jesse are not the same as like contestants because we know Wells and Jesse are going to be there.
Yeah. So there was actually a decent amount of fans at the resort.
I would say that like people recognize Wells. I think it's like through his fiance as well. Like they were asking about her too. But from what I could see, almost nobody recognized the actual cast. Like there weren't that many people there from what like I could tell. And even other people, they're like, oh, what are the blue bracelets for? So they like people weren't really cluing in. You'd have to be a pretty high-end like fan to start spotting people. And had I not seen Jesse and Wells, I probably would not have picked up on it. But I saw them early, so then I was kind of eagle-eyed the rest of the time. But it was a lot of fun just to kind of be like, ooh, let's see what's happening today.
Wait, were you on the trip by yourself? Like, was this a solo trip for you?
No. I went with my boyfriend.
Okay.
It was actually our first vacation together.
Cool.
And he categorically refuses to watch The Bachelor with me because we have TV shows that him and I watch, but then he lets me kind of watch TV shows with my friends too. So it's kind of nice. So we have like a girls' night whenever we watch The Bachelor. But yeah, it was funny. Just kind of one of those things.
And so you started tweeting. There's people started to kind of pick up on it. Like, what can you share? Do you think the production crew knew that you were tweeting? Did they have an issue with it? Did the staff know? Like, what do you want to share or can share about that?
Yeah. So before I decided I was going to start tweeting, I had seen Jesse and Wells. And then in the lobby of our condo, I saw a guy with a blue bracelet and he had a camera. And so I'm like, all right, this is, first of all, that is not a $500 camera. That is a big honking machine thing. So you're here doing something. So I tweeted it and I was like, hey, like, are you guys here filming The Bachelor? And he's like, oh no, it's a commercial. And I was like, really? Because I just saw Jesse and Wells, and it also doesn't take 500 people to film a commercial, and they don't need to be staying in a hotel. And then he went like this. He's like, oh, and I was like, gotcha. And so,
oh my God.
From then on, I think he kind of spread the word because then I saw the head producer. His name is Fitz. He goes by Fitz. I think his last name's Fitzgerald, probably. And like he would kind of give me a look. Then there was this blonde lady, and every time she saw me, she'd be like
a little like cold shoulder or like straight up dirty look.
Oh, like straight up side eye. And I was like, oh, okay. Hi.
I mean, you can't blame them. Of course, they're going to be a little upset because this is a top secret show. But I also feel like at the end of the day, it's not like you're spoiling like who's dating who got sent home. Like we're really just getting names that are like on the beach, which are going to get confirmed anyway in the next week or two, especially when they start flying home, because then everyone's going to be aware. I remember it happened last year where like Serena C was spotted in the airport. So it's like, it's not like you're the only one, but I think you just had such exclusive access being at the hotel and like being in the know.
Yeah. And I also think like having the decent following maybe kind of threw a wrench in that too, because it's one thing if a random account's tweeting it because it's kind of unsubstantiated, but like my name and job are attached to my Twitter account. So it's quite another when you've got that and then people latch onto it. And I can understand that, but you're kind of right. If anything, me tweeting that almost creates hype. I didn't tweet a single spoiler in terms of what was going on. I didn't tweet about any dates or like anything like that. All I said was, this is who I saw. I didn't say anything else. So if anything, I'm kind of creating a hype in terms of like, oh, I'm excited this person's there or this person's there or whatever the case may be. And so I think it would have been a lot different. And I think they would have had a right to be upset if I was like, oh, these people were on a date, these people were kissing, this, that, the other. Like, I think that's a bit of a different animal. Or if I was like, if I tweeted the people that I saw in the spa with the heart candles, they would have had a right to be upset. But I didn't tweet those people, and I'm not going to make that public because I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think people should watch the show. But I can say, hey, look, I saw this there, so be prepared for that on the show.
I mean, I think spoilers has always been a fine line. Like, I do spoilers for some Bachelor, but like also Netflix shows and everything. And I think ultimately, like, people want to see spoilers and they still want to tune in. So in a way, it's like, it might piss off production, and you may have done that and I may have done that, when we might be doing that right now. But it's also like, it is promo, it is hype, and it is that different type of hype. So I do want to read off all of the names here that maybe you gave me, some other people gave me. We'll say this is like 90% confirmed because, you know, you never really know who could be lying. But
other than the people that I straight up saw.
Yeah, but these are kind of the names of the general list we know / pretty much know are in Mexico. So we have Kira, Victoria F, Lace, Rodney, Hunter, Haley, Genevieve, Serene, Teddy, Justin, Peter the Pizza Man, Andrew S, Shanae, Rick, Pardeep, the twins from Gabby and Rachel's season, Brandon, Jamie, Jill Chin, possibly Jasenia, Chelsea. Sally is probably on her way there, and Sarah.
Logan Palmer is the other one.
Yeah, Logan as well. And then I think Sarah might go as well. I'm not sure.
Ooh.
And then possibly Kate from Clayton season and NC from Clayton season. And I'm sure there is a few more names, and I'm sure there is a few more OGs, because it's not like it's going to be like all of these people from the last couple of years and then Lace from like 7 years ago.
Yeah, like I would have to think there are some OGs. I would say this. I highly doubt that Peter Weber is going to be there. I've been told by a few people. There was actually one lady who was nice and who recognized me. She's like, "You're the girl that's tweeting." And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And she's like, "I just want you to know, like, you're right. That's what we're filming here." And I was like, "Okay." And she's like, "There's no point in lying. You're clearly smart enough to figure it out." And I was like, "Yeah, like, you're not fooling people." And I was like, "Listen, I'm not going to tweet spoilers. Like, that's not what I'm going to do." And so she kind of admitted that, but I don't think Peter Weber's going to be there. I don't think, like, maybe we go all the way back, but I can't see people from like Ben Flajnik's season or anything that.
No.
Like, that's so far back.
But I think there'll be a few random people. For like, Lace cannot be the only random person, because that's just so random.
Yeah, like maybe people from like Brad Womack's season, or like maybe Ashley. No, Ashley.
Well, maybe people from like, I mean, even like Peter's season is a couple years ago, Matt's season, Nick's season, Colton's season. Like, I'm sure there'll be a few other girls. Do you have any people that you want to ship, or any like signs of like a potential couple that you know?
Oh, I mean, okay, so now that we have the list, like, I have a few couples that like I think for different reasons could get together. One, hi Brandon. I literally love him. He is my favorite, and him and Rodney I found were so wholesome. Even Andrew S. Like, from watching them, you get the sense that they're actually genuine people. And I have this thing where I'm like, if you end up on a reality TV show like this, there's got to be something wrong. Like, there's got to be something going on here.
Yeah.
But I found with those three, they actually seemed genuine, and so I really hope they do find someone. Having said that, I think, what is his, Peter Pizza, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and Shanae need to get together, and they can just like out narcissist themselves.
Yeah.
Like, they just let them do their thing. I would like that to happen, because I kind of want to see the fireworks. Andrew S. and Serene, I feel like, would be super wholesome. Justin and Victoria F. I feel like
I'm rooting for them too, but I also think Justin wants Sally, because they like kind of were dancing at Stagecoach, and like she's going to be a late arrival, I believe. So I think that he might start with Victoria F and then go to Sally.
Oh, that's big T. I think Rodney and Lace could be cute.
I don't know. I love Rodney. I've met him twice, so like, he is the nicest person ever, and I want to make sure he's with like someone that's not Lace.
Okay, that I could see. I feel like there are a few girls on this season who can put on that face, and I think Shanae is one of them. I think Victoria F is one of them. I think Lace is one of them. And like I said, I think they're so wholesome that like maybe they get caught in that trap. But I think Shanae, sorry, I think Lace wants someone who's maybe a little bit more mature, and that's why I say Rodney, because I think Rodney is absolutely the most mature person on that beach
Mm-hmm.
by a wide margin. So like maybe I think Jamie is gonna cause a whack load of problems.
Same.
But the one thing I'm
Same.
really hoping for is I really want a fight between Jamie and Peter Pizza.
Oh, we'll get that because we don't know if
I want a fist fight. Like I just
we don't want a
throw
fist fight
drinks,
because
all
then
that. Like
they'll get kicked off the beach. But a little drama never hurt nobody. Because I don't know if Will's gonna go. That was like Peter's arch rival. Now, one thing you did tweet is that you were saying that some people who you saw maybe like late arrivals and not first sand. Do you believe that the people who are coming in like week 2 or week 3 are they staying at this resort that you were at until they're able to go to the actual filming location?
yeah, so that's the other thing is we have people that like clean our like condos every day. It's like a housekeeping staff service thing. And if they're cleaning my condo, they're also cleaning everybody else's,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the one lady who like I've known for years because my family has been here for years told me that they keep them here and then the black suburban shows up. She actually was like the black truck. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, of course, that. And then they take them and they go to the beach because they can't be in the hotel or like in the Sayulita filming location until they're actually there. So they do house them at the Danta in Nueva Vallarta. And so like what I
For
heard is they
now, this
started
could be their
filming.
last year.
Yeah, really. They started filming Thursday. And I didn't see Jamie on resort until Saturday night. And so for me, I'm like, okay, they've already started filming, which means everyone who's on the beach night 1 is
Mm.
already there. They don't come back, which means Jamie's not there yet. So he clearly has to be coming in week 2. So I'm assuming Jamie is going tonight. If it's the rose
Ooh,
ceremony tonight,
yeah.
maybe he goes tomorrow morning. But from what I gather, they're usually there about 3 days or 4 days before they go to the beach. That was the same with Haley. Like Haley was there Monday or Tuesday and went to the beach Thursday. She was gone.
Yeah.
So I think it's
Well, I
something like
also
that.
know from last year that apparently there was a few people who were like in the hotel for like 2 weeks, like or 3 weeks, and came at the end or just like were stuck there. So
Oh
I
my
also think it's
god.
possible that they're going to be quarantining some people. I mean, the same thing happened with Alexa. She was waiting with Ivan. Remember, they did the whole sneak out thing? Like she was in
Oh
the
my
hotel
god.
for a while. She never went. So I mean, I think that it's possible that they're there for a long time, but didn't you also say the Mexico or maybe someone else said this, that like the quarantine restrictions are just so different there. So they can like fly people in and just throw them on the beach the next day or the day after.
Yeah, so there were a couple things that I meant to tell you. One, there are no quarantine restrictions in Mexico anymore. So, like, I rocked up, I landed Sunday morning, and I was at the pool Sunday at 11 a.m. Like, I was ready
Mm-hmm.
and we were off and rocking. But they still have the test center. So, they do COVID. I can confirm that the Bachelor still does COVID testing. So, they are taking safety precautions. They were also the only people on resort wearing masks, which is, I think that's still a very good thing because
Mm-hmm.
your whole season of TV could be spoiled if somebody gets COVID. Um, so they house them, but you don't actually have to quarantine anymore. The other thing that I was told changed because I think of the Alexa Ivan thing. So you know how I told you about the blue bracelets?
Mm-hmm.
So the actual like contestants, so like Victoria F, Rodney, all those people weren't wearing bracelets, and this thing is what gets you in your room. So, and I also noticed that they were being escorted by a member of production at all places. So, what I think they did is they told them, we're not giving you room keys so that you can frolic around because you clearly can't be trusted. So,
Mm-hmm.
now if you want to come out of your room, you have to call a member of production. They have to come and get you, escort you to where you want to go. And then they are the ones that let you back in your room. So, nobody goes anywhere without anybody else knowing.
Wow. And I mean,
Mhm.
last question. Do you think that because of all of this tea, that maybe next year they're gonna go to a different hotel?
Honestly, I could see them going to a different filming location, but what I also know is that like you're not going to bring you're filming a television show and you are not putting people up in a random hotel like in Mexico where like things could happen, like let's
Mm-hmm.
face it. And so for me, the thing about Vedanta that separates it from almost any other hotel in like the city, the country, is that to get on the resort, you have to go through security. So like there is no chance of a random just rocking up and being like, "Yo, what's up?" Like that's absolutely not allowed. It's a totally secure location. And so I think they might actually stay, one, from a safety perspective, and two, at least they know that the only chance of them getting seen is from people who are already there, which you can't avoid anyways. And so it's one of those things where it's like, are we gonna just deal with it and hope that people aren't like recognizing us? Or are we gonna maybe take a chance with safety, which I really don't see them doing, because the first year, what I found out was the first year they filmed Bachelor in Paradise, they filmed it in Tulum. And there were some security concerns because fans were trying to get into the hotel. The way it works at this particular resort is, if you have a condo, it's a little bit different. But if you want to actually vacation, you have to book it a minimum of 4 months in advance. So like if I was tweeting out and somebody called the resort and was like, "Oh, I want to come and stay because the Bachelor," they can't.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of one of those things where I think they might stay there because of the security, because unless you're really planning, like you're not going to be there. So I would personally, if it were me, I would just take my chances.
And they can't like kick you out because it's like your condo, it's your family's
Oh
condo.
no,
they don't have that
we
power.
have property there.
Yeah, I love
They're
that.
just renting the place. We own the place. So unless you're purchasing that, which my parents are now not going to sell, especially with my sister and I.
So am I invited next year, or like, I mean, I'm gonna have to wear a wig. Like they cannot know I'm there.
Okay, so next year I'm gonna be blonde.
Okay.
You're coming. My sister's gonna come. We're just gonna like kibitz, and we'll all like split the bill, and off we go.
It'll be worth it.
Oh, I think. But what I also found out is they literally close an entire part of the beach in Sayulita. So if you go as a tourist, like half the available beach is closed.
Gotcha.
So I would be like pretty pissed off if I booked a trip and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you actually can't go to this entire side of the island because we're filming a TV show." Like I don't know, that would upset me. And I know that they told my parents this when my parents like re-upped and repurchased like a higher place, because my mom was like, "I don't want to come here and a part of the beach be closed because you're filming something." And the guarantee that this particular resort gave to its owners is that at no point will they be closing the beach for any extended period of time, like for longer than 1 day, to film things. So like when The Bachelor filmed their intros, they filmed it on the Vedanta beach, but it was for 4 hours. That's all they had. And so I think it's going to stay there because of the security concerns. And honestly, we should plan a trip next year. Let's do it, and then
let's not even tell them. We're not planning a trip next year. Rachel's never going back. I'm never going to Mexico, and you'll never see us. Perfect.
Next thing you know, we're going to be questioned by the border agents.
Literally. Well, thank you so much for being here and spilling this tea. We're both really excited about the season. Are you going to be covering the season at all, live tweeting? Why don't you let everyone know where they could follow you, and like if you're going to be, keeping up with The Bachelor?
Yeah, so I'm honestly trying to figure out when it's going to be, because the NHL season starts and that is what signs my paycheck, and it's what I love to do. So that'll be my priority. I can't just skip out on my responsibilities to watch, but I will absolutely be following. I'm probably going to be allowed to be tweeting and like that kind of thing. I won't really do like the spoiler thing. Maybe I'll point out things. I'll be like, "Oh, I saw this.
Yeah.
Like I saw this happen. I know what's coming," kind of thing. I'll probably tweet through it for sure. But yeah, like definitely you can follow me on Twitter at Rachel Doerrie, Instagram Rachel.Doerrie. Probably my friend's trying to convince me to start up a TikTok.
Okay.
So I guess we'll see. That would require me to learn how to TikTok.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens. But I will say this: if I do any TikToks, it will probably be Bachelor related only.
Okay, and you just gave us all of this. So you're going to be on Zachary Reality's TikTok, and we're going to get your TikTok running. So everyone, check out her TikTok. And if you can't find it, go to my page, and I tagged her because this will be out tomorrow. And thank you all so much for listening. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell. And we might have to bring Rachel back in a couple of months to spill a little bit more tea or when the show starts. So definitely stay tuned and subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.